What if you could think like the smartest people you know? What if you, too, could tackle any challenge and solve any problem to come out on top? It sounds too good to be true, doesn't it? Well, I used to think so too. We are often told that success is about talent or luck or being born into the right circumstances. But what if that is not the whole story? What if it is about mastering specific skills? After years of trying to understand what makes some people incredibly successful, I discovered 11 strategic skills that separate the merely competent from the truly exceptional. In this video, I'll share these skills and a blueprint on how to master them for yourself. Chapter 1. Cognitive Skills. Cognitive skills are the building blocks of our mental capacity. They're the tools for thinking, learning, and problem solving. Think of them as your mind's operating system, which enables you to process information, make decisions, and understand the world around you. But they're also the secret weapons of the most successful people. In this chapter, I will share 5 essential cognitive skills that will give you a mental edge over others. They will allow you to learn faster, think clearly, and become better at solving problems. Skill 1. Metacognitive Approach. As Socrates famously said, "To know thyself is the beginning of wisdom." Smart people don't just think, they think about their thinking. This self-awareness is the foundation of metacognition. Think of metacognition as your internal mirror that reflects your thought process and allows you to identify your strengths, weaknesses, and biases. In my experience, the truly smart people are highly metacognitive. I have found them to be acutely aware of their biases and be able to learn from their mistakes. Have you noticed how great athletes have a strong metacognitive approach? Stephen Curry is a prime example. He is obsessed with studying game footage to identify areas for improvement. He uses data points from the game to adjust his training regimen to improve that weakness. This metacognitive approach has enabled him to become one of the greatest shooters in NBA history. Let's say you are trying to learn a new language. A metacognitive approach would go beyond just memorizing vocabulary and grammar rules. It would involve paying attention to your learning process. You might ask yourself, what are my most effective learning strategies? When am I most focused and alert? What are my biggest challenges in learning this language? How can I adjust my approach to overcome these challenges? By reflecting on your learning process, you can identify your strengths and weaknesses, optimize your strategies, and accelerate your progress. So, how do you develop metacognitive approach? The Think Aloud protocol is a powerful tool to do that. Do you feel your thoughts are scattered all over the place, making it difficult for you to think and focus? Try the Think Aloud protocol. The idea is to verbalize your thinking process as you work through a problem or learn a new concept. It allows you to hear your thoughts and work through the confusion. The beauty of this tool is that the mere act of speaking your thoughts can reveal your hidden assumptions and identify gaps in your understanding. Having a conversation with yourself also allows you to generate greater clarity in your thinking and make it more concrete. For example, while creating this very video, I used the Think Aloud protocol to refine my message and structure. I found myself saying things like, okay, so I want to start with a strong opening that clearly lays down what you as a viewer can expect from the video. But how can I make the information more engaging and digestible? Maybe I should break it down into smaller chunks and have a logical flow. By verbalizing my thoughts, I was able to clarify my ideas and ultimately create a more impactful and engaging video. Remember, metacognitive awareness lays the groundwork for effective learning and problem solving. It gives you a solid understanding of your own thinking process. Now, mastering your own thinking is essential, but smart people also know how to critically evaluate information and form their own informed opinions. This is where the next skill comes in. It acts as a shield against misinformation and a compass for navigating a complex world. Skill 2, critical thinking. Stephen Hawking famously said, "The greatest enemy of knowledge is not ignorance, it is the illusion of knowledge." In today's world of information overload and polarizing opinions, it is easy to get swayed one way or the other. The smart knows how to center themselves and not get swept away by the tide of opinions, misinformation, and persuasive arguments. How do they do that? That's where critical thinking comes in. Think of it as a built-in BS detector that questions everything so that you can form your own informed opinions. Consider Warren Buffett. His ability to analyze market trends, identify opportunities, and make strategic decisions based on critical thinking has been instrumental in his success as an investor. You won't find him changing his investment philosophy based on every new trend. Imagine you come across a crypto that promises guaranteed returns. How would you go about deciding if you should invest or not? As a critical thinker, you would first scrutinize the claims. Perhaps look at any supporting documents that back their guaranteed return promise. Second, investigate the source to find out who is behind the scheme. Are the promoters reputable and transparent? Are there any red flags? Third, you will seek independent information to validate their claims. A quick perplexity search could do that. Finally, you will weigh the investment risk and any legal concerns. As you can see, by applying critical thinking, you can evaluate the information objectively and make an informed decision about whether to invest or not. So, how do you sharpen your critical thinking skills? I find the Socratic method to be particularly effective here. It was used by the great Greek philosopher Socrates. His trick was to engage in thoughtful questioning and analyzing arguments to uncover hidden truths, identifying flaws in reasoning, and building stronger case for his own ideas. The Socratic method involves 5 steps. First, ask open-ended questions, instead of ones with simple yes or no answers. It is because the open-ended questions encourage deeper thinking and exploration. For example, instead of asking, "Is this a good idea?" ask, "What are the potential benefits and drawbacks of this idea?" Second, listen actively. Do not just listen to the words, but also to the underlying assumptions, beliefs, and emotions. This active listening helps you understand the other person's perspective and formulate more effective questions. Third, challenge assumptions and beliefs by asking probing questions. For example, if someone claims that a particular investment is beneficial, you might ask, "What evidence supports that claim? Are there any potential negative consequences?" Fourth, ask clarifying questions when needed. This ensures that you understand the other person's reasoning and perspective. This can help avoid misunderstandings and ensure a productive dialogue. Fifth, periodically summarize the key points of the discussion and synthesize the information to ensure a shared understanding. Remember, critical thinking is a skill that requires practice. The more you indulge in it, the smarter you will become in synthesizing information and problem solving. Now, smart people don't just analyze information. They use it to conquer challenges strategically. They are highly adept at breaking down complex obstacles into manageable steps. The next skill is their secret weapon. Skill 3, problem decomposition. The crux of the skill is beautifully described by this African proverb. The best way to eat an elephant is one bite at a time. Have you ever tried solving a 1,000-piece jigsaw puzzle? It can feel overwhelming and impossible to know where to start, doesn't it? That's where problem decomposition comes in. The idea is to break that giant puzzle into smaller, more manageable pieces so that you tackle it one section at a time. Problem decomposition involves taking a closer look at a complex problem to identify its root causes and developing a step-by-step solution. This skill helps avoid overwhelm and facilitates taking strategic action towards achieving solutions. But problem decomposition is more than just a problem-solving technique. It's a core skill of smart and successful people. They leverage it to break down complex challenges into manageable steps, allowing them to make progress even in the face of overwhelming obstacles. Consider Jeff Bezos. His ability to break down complex challenges into smaller, manageable steps has been instrumental in his success. His 2-pizza rule for team meetings is one such example. He was able to break down inefficiencies in running large team meetings and come out with a genius 2-pizza rule, ensuring that teams are small enough to be fed with 2 pizzas. This not only resolved inefficiencies like groupthink, but also promoted culture of agility and individual empowerment at Amazon. So, how do you use it in daily life? Let's say you're facing a challenge of accumulating credit card debt. Instead of feeling overwhelmed and helpless, you can use problem decomposition to break down the problem and develop a plan of action using following steps. First, define the problem. In our example, it could be defined as follows. I have accumulated a significant amount of credit card debt. Second, break it down. Analyze the contributing factors for increased debt. It could be overspending, high interest rates, or maybe even unexpected expenses. Third, identify root causes behind these factors. Determine the underlying reasons for the overspending. It could be your lifestyle choices or lack of budgeting, or even emotional spending habits. Finally, develop a solution plan. Now that you have broken down the problem, it's time to create a step-by-step plan to address the root causes. This could creating a budget or using an expense tracker that notifies you whenever you are doing unnecessary spending. It could also involve exploring options for consolidating or paying off debt. As you can see, Breaking down the problem into smaller, more manageable steps allows you to gain a sense of control and make progress towards a solution. One of the best tools for building problem decomposition skills is the why technique. It is like peeling back the layers of an onion, uncovering the root cause of a problem by repeatedly asking why. To apply the why technique, first, identify the problem. This involves clearly defining the problem you're trying to solve. Second, ask why repeatedly. Ask why this problem is occurring, and then continue asking why to each answer until you reach the root cause. Third, analyze the root cause. By doing so, you understand its nature and how it contributes to the problem. Fourth, develop a solution that addresses the root cause rather than just the symptoms. I have found this technique to be a powerful and versatile tool. I have used it to deep dive into complex issues such as why my sales team's performance is suboptimal or why I feel a lack of energy in the mornings. Let's say you're experiencing low energy levels yourself. You can use the why technique as follows. Begin by asking, why do I have low energy? Let's say your answer is lack of sleep. Next, ask, why am I not getting enough sleep? You uncovered that it's because of staying up late at night watching TV. Now ask yourself, why do I stay up late watching TV? Let's say you realize that it's a habit caused by a lack of a structured evening routine. This is the root cause. Now, armed with this knowledge, your next step would be to develop a targeted solution, such as establishing a relaxing bedtime routine that prioritizes sleep. By mastering problem decomposition, you will gain the ability to tackle complex challenges with confidence and clarity. You'll no longer feel overwhelmed by complex problems. Rather, you'll have the tools to break them down and conquer them strategically. Now, being good at problem solving is just one aspect of smart thinking. The other aspect is to be good at seeing the bigger picture and anticipating future trends. Skill 4, pattern recognition. Sherlock Holmes, in the novel The Hound of the Baskervilles, describes the importance of pattern recognition. The world is full of obvious things which nobody by any chance ever observes. Have you seen the Matrix movie where the operator just stares at the codes on his computer and knows exactly what's happening within the Matrix? That's what pattern recognition is about. It's about connecting the dots and seeing the bigger picture. It's about training your mind to see the underlying patterns and connections that drive events and behaviors. Without exception, all successful startup founders and C-level execs that I have worked with excel at pattern recognition. They possess an uncanny ability to connect the dots to identify emerging trends and anticipate market shifts. A powerful tool to build this skill for yourself is the analogical thinking, which is about identifying patterns and transferring knowledge from one domain to another. The idea is that by recognizing similarities between seemingly unrelated domains or situations, you can develop creative solutions and make more informed decisions. There are 5 steps to cultivate analogical thinking. First, broaden your knowledge. You need to start exposing yourself to diverse fields and disciplines. The more knowledge you have, the more connections you can make between seemingly unrelated concepts. Second, look for similarities. When faced with a new problem or situation, actively look for similarities to other problems or situations you've encountered before. Third, ask what-if questions to explore potential analogies. For example, what if this problem were like a game of chess? What strategies could I use to outmaneuver my opponent? Fourth, test your analogies. Challenging analogies is a crucial step in the analogical thinking process because it helps you refine your understanding and avoid drawing inaccurate or misleading conclusions. Think of it like this. An analogy is like a bridge connecting 2 islands of knowledge. Before you cross that bridge, you want to make sure it's structurally sound and can support your weight. Finally, apply the analogy to gain new insights, generate solutions, or make predictions. One of the great things about this skill is that you can build it by observing patterns in everyday life. You can do so by observing how people behave in social settings, how fashion trends emerge and fade away only to return back. By actively observing and analyzing patterns, you can train your brain to easily identify subtle cues and connections. This enhances your ability to recognize patterns in more complex and nuanced situations. Now, pattern recognition helps smart to see the connections between things, but how do they synthesize all the information into a coherent understanding? The next skill has the answer. Skill 5, information synthesis. Alvin Toffler once said, "The illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who cannot read and write, but those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn." Being adept at information synthesis is like being a master chef of knowledge. You can make sense of the information overload by filtering out the irrelevant and synthesizing knowledge from diverse sources. Imagine you are trying to decide which car to purchase. You might consult consumer reports, online reviews, expert opinions from mechanics, and testimonials from friends and family. Information synthesis involves evaluating the credibility of each source, identifying potential biases like a paid or biased review, and then making an informed judgment on which car to buy. A powerful tool to build this skill is the SQ3R method. It's like having a roadmap for guiding you through the process of understanding, analyzing, and retaining information. While it is often associated with learning and studying, its principles can be adapted to other areas. Back in 2022, I was working for a startup that was reeling from the aftermath of the economic crisis post-COVID. There was a general consensus that employee morale needed boosting. Here is how I used SQ3R method. Stage 1, survey. The first step was to start gathering initial information about the situation. This involved observing team dynamics, conducting informal conversations, and reviewing recent performance data to understand the scope and potential causes of the low morale. Stage 2, question. Then came the step of asking some critical questions to analyze the problem further. Stage 3, read. Next step was to gather more data through employee surveys and one-on-ones. This stage also involved researching and analyzing potential solutions, such as team-building activities or changes to workload distribution. Stage 4, recite. The next step was to summarize the findings and synthesize the information in a way that gives a clear understanding of the problem and its potential solutions. Stage 5, review. The final step was to present my report to the founders for review and to evaluate the impact of my proposed solutions. This stage also involved finally implementing the shortlisted solutions and monitoring its impact on morale for the next 6 months, while also making adjustments as needed. Remember, information synthesis helps you become smart at connecting dots and making informed decisions. Chapter 2, Communication and Interpersonal Skills. George Bernard Shaw famously said, "The single biggest problem in communication is the illusion that it has taken place." Smartness is not about just being good at cognitive skills. In isolation, all that smart thinking cannot ensure success unless you also excel at communicating it effectively. In this chapter, I will share 3 key skills that will help you do the same as well. Skill 6, articulate communication. Have you ever come across a person who could just converse and connect with anyone? A person could effortlessly convey complex ideas, emotions, and intentions? They do that by leveraging the skill of articulate communication. Articulate communication is about expressing yourself clearly, concisely, and persuasively, whether you're speaking to a small group or a large audience. It is essential for building relationships, influencing others, and achieving your goals. It's about crafting your message in a way that ensures that your words resonate with your audience and inspire action. For example, imagine you're giving a presentation to your team. Articulate communication involves not just presenting the information clearly and concisely, but also engaging your audience, conveying your passion for the topic, and inspiring them to take action. An effective tool to communicate articulately is through stories. Learn to craft compelling narratives and practice delivering them to excel at storytelling. Now, you may think that some people are born with gift of gab. While that may be true, many, like Abraham Lincoln, had built their skills methodically. Another effective tool is summarization. Next time when you come across a complex information, try to summarize it in a clear and concise way. This small act of summarization will help you communicate effectively in any situation, whether you're writing an email, giving a presentation, or having a casual conversation. Now, articulate communication is essential, but smart people also know how to collaborate effectively. They are great at leveraging the diverse perspectives and strengths of others to achieve shared goals. This next skill is the key to unlocking this power. Skill 7, collaborative intelligence. James Cash Penney describes it best when he says, "The best teamwork comes from men who are working independently toward one goal in unison." Collaborative intelligence is about being a master team player. It's about being able to work effectively with others despite of diverse perspectives and beliefs. It's about recognizing that the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. The smart leverage it to solve complex problems, create innovative solutions, and achieve success in any collaborative setting. As a corporate coach, I found the following 2 strategies to be very effective for building collaborative intelligence skills. Strategy 1, the yes and technique. The idea here is not to shut down others' ideas, but to build upon them. This helps foster a positive and creative environment where everyone feels heard and valued. By saying yes and, you acknowledge others' contribution while also adding your own perspective. I had a boss who loved using this technique. Whenever anyone reached him with their brilliant marketing ideas, he would always say, yes, and we could also consider incorporating social media influencers to reach a wider audience. Instead of cutting and demotivating us, he would add his own perspective and open it up for discussion, thus creating a collaborative and synergistic approach to problem solving. Strategy 2, the 6 thinking hats. This is a brilliant tool to supercharge collaborative brainstorming sessions. It is also an effective way to avoid groupthink that can easily derail a collaborative setting. The 6 thinking hats technique was developed by Edward de Bono. As the name suggests, it involves assigning different colored hats to members of a group. Each hat represents a different mode of thinking. White hat focuses on facts, data, and objective information. Think of it as the information gatherer hat. Red hat focuses on emotions, intuition, and gut feelings. It allows for the expression of emotions and hunches without the need for justification. Black hat focuses on potential risks, challenges, and weaknesses. This is the critical thinking hat, highlighting potential problems and cautionary points. Yellow hat focuses on benefits, opportunities, and positive outcomes. This is the optimistic hat, exploring possibilities and potential advantages. Green hat focuses on creative solutions, new ideas, and possibilities. This is the brainstorming hat, encouraging out-of-the-box thinking and innovative solutions. Blue hat focuses on managing the thinking process itself, ensuring that all perspectives are considered and that the discussion stays on track. This is the facilitator or conductor hat, guiding the overall thinking process. By encouraging team members to take one of the 6 roles defined by these hats, you can foster a balanced approach to problem solving. Now, smart people don't just collaborate, they also inspire and persuade others to embrace their vision. Skill 8, persuasive communication. Imagine having the superpower to influence others, inspire action, and rally people to your cause. That's the power of persuasive communication. Think of Martin Luther King Jr., whose powerful speeches moved a nation and ignited a civil rights movement. Even in our daily life, persuasive communication is valuable, be it convincing your boss to give you a raise or rallying support for that cause you believe in. A powerful strategy to build persuasive communication skill is the framing effect. The way you frame a problem often determines the solution you choose. So, key is to present information in a way that highlights its positive aspects and aligns with your audience's values. This can subtly influence their perception and make your arguments more persuasive. Here are 5 steps to cultivate the framing effect. Step 1. Understand your audience to figure out what kind of language and framing will resonate most effectively with them. Step 2. Highlight the positive by emphasizing the benefits and positive outcomes of your message. Focus on the potential gains rather than the potential losses. Step 3. Reframe the negative aspect in a positive light. Step 4. Use visual aids for framing information. Use charts, graphs, and images to present data in a way that supports your message and highlights the key takeaways. Step 5. Test your framing to see what works best for your audience and your message. Remember, when trying to persuade someone, appeal to their emotions as well as their logic. Stories, examples, and metaphors can be powerful tools for persuasion as they connect with people on a deeper level and make your message more memorable. Now, with strong communication and interpersonal skills, you're well equipped to connect with others and build strong relationships. But in today's rapidly changing world, continuous learning and adaptability are essential for staying ahead of the curve. Chapter 3. Rapid learning and knowledge acquisition skills. Smart people aren't just intelligent, they're learning machines. They devour new knowledge like no one else. They adapt to change with ease and bounce back from setbacks with resilience. In this chapter, we'll explore the learning and adaptability skills that empower them to thrive in an ever-evolving world. Mahatma Gandhi famously said, "Live as if you were to die tomorrow. Learn as if you were to live forever." Rapid learning is akin to absorbing new information like a sponge. It's about being curious, being adaptable, and being efficient in acquiring knowledge. It's about cultivating a growth mindset. For example, imagine you are an entry-level software developer. AI is eating into your job, and it is becoming more challenging to stand out and advance in your career. The smart play is to leverage rapid learning to master advanced skills and differentiate yourself. Here are 3 strategies for accelerating your learning. Strategy 1. Active recall. It's like lifting weights for your brain. Here, you actively challenge yourself to retrieve information from memory. This helps strengthen neural connections and improve long-term retention. Here are 2 effective ways of building this mental muscle. First, the testing effect. Instead of just rereading notes or textbooks, test yourself regularly. Use flashcards, or even just try to recall key concepts from memory. Second, the questioning approach. Transform passive reading into active learning by constantly asking yourself questions about the material. What are the key takeaways? How does this connect to what I already know? What are the implications of this information? This active engagement keeps your mind sharp and promotes deeper understanding. Strategy 2, spaced repetition. All of us know that we naturally forget information over time if we don't actively review it. But did you know that this process is fast initially and naturally slows down? Spaced repetition is your antidote to this forgetting curve. It combats this by strategically timing your review sessions to coincide with the natural forgetting process. It involves reviewing information at increasing intervals to combat the forgetting curve. This is how you can do it. Begin with reviewing it within the first few hours, preferably the same day. Then gradually increase the review interval. Best is to review the next day, then a few days later, then a week later, and so on. Experiment with different intervals to find what best works for you, and then stick to it. You can leverage spaced repetition tools like RemNote to help you do this more effectively. Use the invitation link in the description for a free trial. Strategy 3, interleaving. Here, instead of focusing on one subject or topic at a time, you mix them up. This challenges your brain to switch contexts and retrieve information from multiple sources. It also helps enhance your understanding and improve your ability to apply knowledge from multiple sources in different situations. There are 3 steps to building interleaving skills. First, mix up your subjects. Instead of studying one subject for a long period, alternate between different subjects or topics. For example, if you're studying for exams in math, history, and science, you might study math for an hour, then switch to history for an hour, and then switch to science for an hour. Second, vary your practice. For example, if you are learning a new language, you might alternate between vocabulary exercises, grammar drills, and conversation practice. Third, create connections. As you switch between different subjects or topics, look for connections and relationships between them. This helps you integrate your knowledge and see the bigger picture. Remember, by mastering rapid learning, you can gain a competitive edge in any field and stay ahead of the curve. Rapid learning helps you acquire new knowledge, but how do you find innovative solutions to complex problems? Chapter 4, Creative Problem-Solving Skills. Smart people don't just solve problems, they create solutions that redefine the boundaries of what's possible. In this chapter, we'll explore the creative and innovative skills that empower them to think outside the box, challenge the status quo, and shape a better future. 2-time Nobel laureate Linus Pauling said, "The best way to have a good idea is to have lots of ideas." This aptly describes the core idea behind creative thinking and problem solving. To add on, it is also essential to create a safe space for your imagination to roam freely. Never censor yourself or dismiss any ideas, no matter how ridiculous they might seem at first. Your goal should be to generate a large quantity of ideas, as this increases the likelihood of stumbling upon a truly innovative solution. So how do you cultivate creative problem-solving skills? Meet the Scamper technique. Scamper is like a Swiss Army knife for creative problem-solving. It is a creative brainstorming method that helps generate new ideas by modifying existing concepts. Though famous for its use in product development, its applications extend far beyond. Let's say you want to figure out a new exercise routine that is more enjoyable and sustainable. Here is how you can go about using Scamper in this case. Substitute. Can you substitute your current workout with a different type of exercise that you enjoy more? Combine. Can you combine exercise with other activities, such as listening to music or podcasts while you work out? Adapt. Can you adapt your workout routine to different environments, such as exercising outdoors or at home? Modify. Can you modify the intensity or duration of your workouts to make them more manageable? Put to another use. Can you use exercise as a way to socialize with friends or explore new places? Eliminate. Can you eliminate any obstacles that are preventing you from exercising, such as lack of time or motivation? Reverse. Can you reverse your approach to exercise by starting with a small, easy habit and gradually increasing the intensity over time? By systematically applying these prompts, you'd be able to evaluate which routine fits the bill the most. Then, you'd implement those changes and see how they impact your exercise routine. This might lead to a more enjoyable and sustainable approach to fitness. Remember, By mastering creative problem solving, you become a more innovative thinker and a more resourceful problem solver. These are essential qualities for achieving success in any field. Chapter 5. Long-term vision and strategic foresight. Smart people don't just live in the present, they envision the future and make choices that align with their long-term goals. Long-term vision and strategic foresight guide them towards a fulfilling life and enables them to navigate uncertainty with wisdom and resilience. Imagine yourself as the captain of your own ship. You have the power to choose your destination, set your course, and weather any storm that comes your way. This is the essence of building a long-term vision and strategic foresight. Peter Drucker famously said, "The best way to predict the future is to create it." Let's say you are building your dream house. Long-term vision and strategic foresight are like the architect's blueprint that guide your choices so that you build a structure that is both beautiful and strong. That's the power of long-term vision and strategic foresight. It's about setting a clear direction for your life, anticipating future trends, and making decisions that goes beyond the immediate present and aligns with your future self. Here are 2 powerful strategies. Strategy 1, the 10 years from now visualization. If you want to build a better future, you need to be able to see it first. The 10 years from now visualization helps do that. Simply close your eyes and imagine yourself 10 years in the future. This exercise gives you the power to clarify your long-term goals. And just by vividly imagine a future scenario, our brain creates neural connections associated with that vision. This makes it more likely that we'll take actions that align with our desired future. Here is how you can practice this visualization. Step 1. Find a quiet space. Choose a comfortable and quiet environment where you can relax and focus without distractions. Step 2. Close your eyes and take a few deep breaths to center yourself. Step 3. Imagine your future self 10 years from now. Create a vivid picture of what are you doing, where are you living, who are you with, what have you achieved. Step 4. Engage your senses to make visualization as vivid and detailed as possible. You can do so by imagining what you see, hear, feel, smell, and taste in this future scenario. Step 5. Connect to your values. Ensure that your vision aligns with your core values and aspirations. This will make it more meaningful and motivating. Step 6. Write it down. Now, write down your vision in detail. This will help you solidify it in your mind and create a tangible reminder of your goals. By regularly practicing this visualization, you can clarify your long-term vision, make decisions that align with your goals, and create a compelling future for yourself. Strategy 2. Scenario planning. Scenario planning is a strategic thinking tool that helps you anticipate and prepare for different potential futures. It involves developing multiple scenarios, each with its own set of assumptions, challenges, and opportunities. This helps you to explore possibilities, identify risks, determine opportunities, and develop flexible strategies aligning with changing circumstances. Here are 5 steps in scenario planning. First, identify key uncertainties. What are the key factors that could influence your future? These could be economic trends, technological advancements, political changes, or social shifts. Second, develop scenarios. Create a few different scenarios for the future. For example, you might create a best-case scenario, a worst-case scenario, and a few alternative scenarios in between. Third, analyze the implications of each scenario. How do they affect your goals and plans? What challenges might you face? What opportunities might arise? Fourth, develop strategies and contingency plans for each scenario. This will help you be prepared for different potential outcomes and make more informed decisions. Finally, monitor and adapt. Make sure to continuously monitor the environment for changes so that you can adapt your strategies as needed. Remember, by incorporating scenario planning into your decision-making process, you become architect of your own future. So there you have it, 11 core skills of the SMART that you can master to become smarter and more successful than ever before. Now check out this video to learn about the habit that can radically change your life without the pressure of chasing goals and outcomes.